90% of dudes rapping, they ain't nice as me. 98% ain't live the same type of life as me. The judge gave me life and then they sent me where the life is be. That level 4 with depth and vice, the type of stuff they like to see. Two choices, fight or flee. I refuse to die a chump. I never been a mark, but damn, it's scary when that riot jump. I seen dudes cry, get punked, and some sexually brutalized. Knew a dude who lost his life and he was only doing 5 year-long racial fights when homie all you do is ride. Lonely days and nights up in a hole causing suicide. From the moment you arrive, you see the Mexican mafia. AB skinheads with big giant swastikas. Pro-black philosophers, the BGF, the Kumi, and Muslims who will murk you from the nation to the Sunni. That MS was loony, quick to ride up on they rival. Even Christians went to church, hide knives up in a Bible. Political and tribal, the Crips and Damus, the Long Beach, the Hubs and the Dubs and the Grooves, the IE, the Bakersfield, the Dago Pyrus, the hustlers quick to roll, the gangsters gon' move. Whatever click you choose, you better stick to.
Say what's cracking, YouTube? It's your boy 16 to life, and I'm back like I'm on a parole violation. Yard down. Now, for those of y'all new to the page, in 1994, I got arrested. I was eventually sentenced to 16 years plus life, and I served 24 years straight in the California prison system. During those times, I accumulated some good stories, some good insight on gangs, prison, things like that, and I'm going to share some with y'all today. If you happen to like this video, hit that like button, subscribe, leave a comment, and most importantly, hit that notification bell. That way, anytime I drop a story, you will be notified ASAP Rocky, and you can hop on it whenever you're ready. Also, like I told y'all, man, I rap. The flow is none like Curtis Blow. Yes, that's me gassing on the intro. And if you want to check out more of my music, go to my YouTube playlist. Scroll down the gas stations and you're going to find more of my music right there. Now, with that being said, you already know, let's hop up into it, man. So y'all see the title. Is LA becoming a no-fly zone for ICE? And, you know, like I told y'all, man, I was locked up. I done 24 years straight. I had a life sentence. You know, I was locked up for a murder. I also had a separate shooting, 3 attempted murders. And so that's why I ended up doing all that time. So I say all that to say I'm not trying to belittle, point fingers at anyone out there gang banging, because at one point in time in my life, I was also deeply entrenched in that lifestyle. Fortunately enough for me, I've lived long enough to mature. You know, I think it's also no coincidence that a lot of the individuals who I was locked up with, who had life as well, a lot of them now who have been free are working with some type of organization to try to give back, you know. And I believe that's a big part of when you get older, you realize, you know, we realize some of the extent to some of the things that we've done out there in those streets. With that being said, I'll be the first to admit that that culture or that subculture of gangbanging is fucked up. You know, it is what it is, man. It's no secret that black men are the highest killers of other black men. So do I think that people in LA are intentionally targeting out of town rappers? No. You know what I'm saying? Let me also tell y'all that I'm not from LA. I'm from California, but I'm not from LA. You know, we all know that Crips and Blood started in LA. It slowly spread throughout California. Then after that, throughout the world. So, you know, I'm telling y'all that what it is it's just people out there in the streets, man. You know, now that with each generation, especially in California with the Crips and the Bloods, where there was never an extreme tight structure on the streets with the Crips and the Bloods. It seems like with each generation, you know, there are less and less rules, more things and more things are permitted. Then on top of that, we got this social media culture where now, you know, you have so many people who want to give their whereabouts. They want to basically make announcements that I'm here, you know, with $100,000 worth of jewelry on. I'm in this car, I'm in that car. And the fact of the matter is this here, man, you have some people who will see you as a potential way to come up, to prosper, you know, by people not being from LA. You may not hear about all the robberies that are in downtown LA sometimes, or in the more upscale places where the white people are. You know, you have youngsters just walking through there, man, looking to see people sitting down with Rolexes on, expensive jewelry, expensive watches, you know, and especially in those cases when it's just a robbery and not a murder, it doesn't get as much publicity as, say, when a famous rapper or a rapper who is known when he's killed and stuff like that. So, let's not forget, not too long ago, you had a jeweler by the name of Duke the Jeweler from Chicago, who was, I believe he had went to a Little Bootsy concert. Then they attended a dice game afterward. And so what they saying is he had won about $100,000 and he had lots of jewelry on. So when he left this dice game, he was approached outside of the dice game, shot and robbed. Before that, maybe 6-7 months ago, maybe give or take some, you had the rapper Benny the Butcher. I believe he happened to be in Houston as well, who was going to Walmart. Some dudes ran up on him, tried to rob him and shot him. So I don't necessarily believe that people are being targeted because they're from out of town. I just believe that when you have people with these expensive jewelry pieces on or expensive, gold watches and stuff like that, there are individuals out there that will try to take that stuff up off you. And the social media, with social media being so popular and stuff in everybody's lives, now it definitely makes gang banging and that street life seem cool. It appeals to more people. That type of lifestyle can be reached and emulated by more people because everybody's watching social media in some shape or form, man. So that's just what it is. Let's just keep it real, man. And then when a person you're not familiar with a certain area or a certain state, you definitely have to be on point, man. I'm gonna just keep it 100. If that was me, if I was in that type of lifestyle, I wouldn't be out there dressed like that. That's just me. In particular, because I know that there are other people out there who will be looking to relieve me of that type of stuff, and it's very hard to prepare for an enemy when you don't know he's coming, especially if you're not like a Lil Wayne, a Drake, a Jay-Z, when you out there with, 5-10 security guards and stuff like that, man. Let's just keep it 100. It has nothing to do with being scared, being soft, being shook. To me, in my opinion, man, you have to have a respect. You have to have a great respect for what's going on, for the elements. You have to have a great respect of what you're dealing with. You know what I'm saying? We dealing with a ruthless, uncaring, culture that will pop you. You know what I'm saying? This gang banging culture is vicious. This gang banging culture is vicious, man. And so when a person is you in a city and a state, you're not familiar with what's going on, you definitely have to be extremely observant, especially like I said, you could be, and this goes for California as well as several other big cities that have a gang banging culture. You could be in one territory, walk 3 or 4 blocks east or 3 or 4 blocks west and be in another territory. So if you're not aware of those territories and where you at and where you going and stuff like that, man, you could potentially be victimized. And that's just what it is, man. So like I said, for me, yeah, I do believe that LA as well as a bunch of other big states are no fly zones for wearing ice. You can't be you can't be in New York. You can't be in New Jersey. You know what I'm saying? You can't be in Chicago. You can't be in Texas in the wrong spot with all this jewelry on and not have someone approach you trying to relieve you of whatever you have on. Yeah. Should rappers be, should they be allowed? And, should it be okay for them to walk around with all this jewelry on? It should be, but realistically, you already know that somebody is going to see you as a come up, man. They're going to see you as a lick. They're going to see you as a means of financially improving their situation. And it is what it is, man. And so this leads me to my next, because I was thinking about this. I was speaking on this a couple of days ago. Like I say, I've been sitting on this for a minute. And also I've been sitting on this thumbnail for a minute. And it also made me think that now are they trying to make it seem like, people in California are intentionally targeting out of towners, out of staters, that now that may get extremely problematic and messy, because it kind of reminded me of, it can potentially go back to when you had the death row and the death row and the bad boy conflict. people chose sides, man. You had, of course, people from California and certain states siding with Death Row. You had people from the East Coast and New York and certain states siding with Puffy. You know what I'm saying? Bad Boy Records and stuff like that. So now you can have a person from California. And let me say this before I get into that, you know, because people from out of state, they just see that as dudes from California, you know, dudes from LA being foul, not knowing that, you know, LA is so separated, so divided, you know, that everybody is not in cahoots. You know, you have different individuals, different cliques doing stuff, you know, so they may see that, you know, people from another state just may lump everybody in California in the same pool. So now you may have somebody from California visiting, you know, another state somewhere. And then once people find out that this dude is from California, be like, man, you know what? California motherfuckers, they don't care. They out there robbing and killing. Just get him. And it's not necessarily like that. Like I said, man, a dude could be from California, in California, and in the wrong area with too much ice on, too much jewelry, looking too expensive and flashy, and they gonna rob him. You know, they gonna get him. But like I said, since sometimes these dudes aren't high profile individuals or celebrities, you may not hear about that type of stuff. But the bottom line is the culture is just wicked. Let's just keep it, you know, let's just keep it 100, man. When I'm walking around, you know, and not only today, but even back when I was 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, just walking around or whatever, going through the mall or in another city, you know, I never worried about another white person doing nothing to me. That's just what it is, man. I was not worried about that. I always had to be on point and be worried about someone else who was black doing something to me. Because like I said, keeping it 100, man, the gangbanging culture is fucked up and it's dangerous. You know what I'm saying? Just being of a certain age, man, being in California, being in the wrong neighborhood, you are definitely gonna have some dudes press you, man, and ask you where you from. They gonna hit you up. They want to know where you from. You don't even have to be iced out, you know what I'm saying, looking expensive. You can just be in the wrong neighborhood, the wrong territory, the wrong apartments on the wrong street, and somebody is gonna hit you up, man. You know what I'm saying? You know, a lot of parts of California are gang infested. And when they see a new face, dudes have, you know, some dudes have they have the feeling that this area, this neighborhood, this liquor store, this is ours. You know what I'm saying? And if we don't know you, you shouldn't be over here. And so that problem is only gonna be made worse if you happen to have some jewelry on, or you in an expensive looking car, or you looking like you could potentially be victimized. So let's just keep it real, man. And let's keep it real and just classify it as what it is, man. It's just, you know, we in a fucked up culture right now. That's just, you know, that's just what it is, man. This subculture of gang banging, black on black crime is fucked up. And you know, knowing that, we got to move accordingly. If you ask me, you know, we got to move accordingly, man. You know, if I was in a position to have all that stuff on my neck, all that jewelry, to be honest with you, I wouldn't do it. You know, some of that stuff may look nice, but it's not worth the potential problems it's going to bring. You know what I'm saying? Just because of that culture, man. You know, when I was growing up in 89, 90s up in there, California, you know, we ride low riders, you know what I'm saying? Or especially back in those days more, you know. Back then we had some rims called Daytons. And a lot of times people referred to them as Killer D's because people was literally killing people for the rims on their car. They was expensive. I forget exactly how much they was at the time, but they were expensive. Everybody didn't have them. And so once I got in a position to get them, start selling drugs and stuff, and I was positioned to get them, I never did get them. Just to me, it wasn't worth the problem of sitting in a car, somebody running up to me trying to kill me. You know, actually, I happened to be leaving a club one time in Riverside. And I can't remember the name of the club right now. Everybody knows that club in Riverside, though, if you're from the area, man. And I seen some dudes actually run up on a dude, man. The Metro, that was the name of the club, the Metro. Maybe about 2 cars in front of me. Dudes ran up on a dude, man, in a truck and tried to rob him and stuff for his Daytons. You know, they started shooting. I believe the dudes who ran up started shooting and stuff. And to me, all that wasn't worth it because it's hard to prepare for an enemy when you don't know where he's coming from. You know, you don't know where he's at. And like I said, when you sitting back, you know, you chilling, you got on all your jewelry, you sitting back, you enjoying, you doing what you doing. You know, you may not be aware that people are plotting on you at that very moment, you know. So when a person runs up on you trying to rob you, he's already ready. He's already got the up on you. You know what I'm saying? And so it's extremely hard for you to win and take advantage of a situation when you already dude is already drawn down on you with that thing. So, you know, that's what I'm saying, man. So in my opinion, man, it's up to each individual. We gotta be smart. You know, you gotta be smart and you gotta move smart, you know. And so, like I said, man, is you know, unless you pulling up to LA or any big city, man, where there's a extremely bad gang problem, you know, unless you pulling up and you able to afford, you know, lots of bodyguards and stuff, it's always best to move on the safer side, man. It's always best to move on the safer side. And that's just my opinion on that, man. Y'all take that for what it's worth, though. You know, you already know who it is. It's your boy 16 to life.